are encouraged. No, don't check anything. Don't do anything. Sit there, stare at the screen, and say, "What am I watching or listening to?" Had it with all of you. All of you. Had it.
Damn good coffee and hot.
Wake up, America. You've got a dog that needs walking. That's right, sunshine. Just put on a big pot of strong coffee and get ready to type your little hate mail with your opinions about kumbaya and flat earth insanity. Stand-up comedy? You want stand-up comedy? Well, we've got sit-down comedy. It's time for Coffee with the Dog. You make me laugh.
It's time for Fleas and Manes with the Dog. Fleas and Manes. That's what kind of day it is. You think you come here to get happy? I'll beat that out of you. Put all the mail over. The mail is getting here. Quick. Oh, look it up. Bad morning, everybody, people of Earth. I usually say good morning, but I wish you a bad morning because I'm having a bad morning. I got a bad shoulder. I don't feel right. It's Friday. It's casual Friday, though, so we don't have to wear a shirt or pants, but I am wearing pants. Generally, if you tune into a show, whether television or this little rinky-dink operation we got going over here, a host will say, "We got a great show for you today." Unfortunately, I have to tell you the truth. We have a shitty show for you today. We have probably the worst show that you'll ever watch or listen to, and there's no denying that. My first guest today will be a guy who wrote me a very strange poem 3 days ago on Podmatch. My friend, you seem Tobias. What the fuck does that mean? With a mustache that tries us. Anyway, he's an author, and this is his very first interview. So who knows what the fuck's going to happen there. This could be a real clusterfuck. He's a guy who is from Texas, but he has Tourette's, and he's living in British Columbia or something like that, somewhere up where you wouldn't want to live, where nobody wants to live. He's the third son of parents who were drug addicts and the first in his family to graduate high school. Could be off the rails there. And then the second hour, we have Corey Rosen, who may or may not show up. He's the founder and station manager of PBM TV. He was supposed to be here once before, and he asked me to send him a reminder the night before, which I did not do because I don't do that. I don't babysit guests. It's a little, so that could be a little off the rails as well. So it's already starting to be a bad show now. And then consider my co-hosts, who are, one guy is going to be freezing. He's probably preoccupied with his wife's health conditions. Health, I said health, not health. Health conditions. And he's just got a lot going on. Plus, he's got this loud mic, which is, and he's just like, he's in a dungeon or something. And then the other co-host, it's just not funny. He's Tom Segura, a guy who just can't even like manage to figure out how StreamYard works. He's trying videos and then not rewinding them. It's just going to be a rotten day. If I were you, I'd bail now. But they're here anyway. Let's say hello to them. Good morning, fellas. Look, I didn't even change the right background. See, that's how fucked up this day is. It's going to be a bad day. Got anything to say?
Yeah. First of all, Mine dog TV. Mine dog coffee.
See
I
that?
don't
It's
always
fucked up. He fucked it up right from the start. Take two. Try it again, you dumb buddy.
Mine dog coffee. I don't always drink coffee, but when I do, I get the shits. Mine
Wow.
dog coffee.
That's right.
Wow.
We start off with the shits every morning here, and it just keeps getting worse.
I think it's going to be a great show today.
You look warm.
Well, you know what? I turned the oven on in the kitchen over here, and I've got layers. I've got layers this morning.
There you go. That's the ticket. Wow, see, things are picking up already over here. You see?
Yeah, see, I'm using the old noggin.
I got a bad shoulder though. It's not right. It's sciatica working backwards, because usually sciatica goes to your legs and all that stuff.
Right.
But I'm having to deal with. I'm all spazzed out. My life is off the rails. And we got the funeral this weekend. And here's another thing. My brother-in-law is flying in from Texas tonight to LaGuardia Airport at 6:30 in the evening, and I haven't been assigned to go pick him up. Now, I don't know if you know this, but I invented road rage. I am the original inventor of road rage.
I saw that. I tried to trademark road rage, and I was too late because you have the patent.
Right, I got it. So, because I was born 3 months before you, I was on it. The minute I turned 16 and got my whatever learner's permit or whatever the fuck I got, I was already on it. So, but driving from Shoreham to LaGuardia Airport in rush hour on a Friday, picking this guy up, he's a good guy, my brother-in-law, but he doesn't know. He's not a good traveler. He's from Texas. Listen, they're a little stunad in Texas anyway. He's not from Texas. He lives in Texas. But he's been there long enough to get this stunad. And then when he comes back, he's not going to be able to find me. It's a nightmare. I'm already anticipating a nightmare of a whole day, and it starts off with a show like this.
Do you think that perspective leads into it though?
Yes. But both of you guys are the reason the first guest is here today. Because I was gonna say no, and you both said, yeah, have him on the morning show. This guy with the my friend.
The guy who wrote you the weird poem.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but it was so interesting though. You gotta talk to somebody that writes to you in poetic prose. You know what I mean? Come on.
My thing is, I think it's a manifesto, to be honest, and I think that this could be the thing to put us on the map.
That could be. Now his book,
like the conversation before he goes on his tirade or something. Is that what you say? Oh God, no.
And he was examining what exactly did they say to set him off.
I have no idea about the book. Of course, I haven't read the book. I just found out about the guy 2 days ago or whatever. It's called The Second Son, Volumes 1 and 2.
But he's the third son.
Huh?
Isn't he the third son of a drug-addled family?
No, he's the third child of a...
Third child.
Yeah. He's in the back listening to all this, by the way. I love that when you can kind of eavesdrop on what people are saying about you before you come on the show.
Okay.
Anyway, so yeah, he's going to be our first guest. He's an author of a vet. Did I mention a vet? Did I mention
like a veterinarian, or a veteran?
Maybe it's both, but I mean veteran.
Okay.
I would never.
Of what branch? Oh, well, we'll ask him.
I was just going to say I would never dishonor a veterinarian by calling him a vet. I'm just being stupid.
Wow.
But it's not. I'm not. It's not like I'm being stupid. I am stupid. But this is his first interview, and he wrote to me a nice thing. He said he thought, I forget what, I'm paraphrasing, that his first interview, he thought his first interview should be with a experienced host.
And
which you are. You're a great host.
I'm experienced, but I experienced at sucking.
listen, no bullshit, man. I've sat here and just I myself have heard a number of guests compliment you on the interviews that you give. Okay, you're a great interviewer.
You just said that like you were reading a Naked Wines commercial. A number of guests.
It was very sincere. I
Willie
meant
is the
every
only
word.
co-host. Willie's the only co-host who does voiceover for his own parts.
Yeah, he walks through life reading commercials at people.
I do. I do.
Voiceover is his own life.
But
Good
Let me
morning,
tell you
wife.
about.
so
Oh my
here's
god,
the deal. It's how did I friggin' miss this Altercation Comedy Festival in Austin, which we were supposed to cover. I was supposed to go to Austin.
isn't that happening now?
It happens there now. I forgot. I forgot. I was supposed to be there covering all this stuff. Issues with Andy podcast is part of this whole thing. They're doing a show live. We could have been doing a show live there. I mean, we could have made those arrangements.
Dude, yeah, no, I would love to do that kind of thing. If we submitted to festivals and like tried to have the podcast at festival, that'd be dope as fuck.
Next year we won't forget because I'll remind you, and then I'll be like Corey Rosen. You guys can remind me the night before. I don't know. I've had a lot going. I'm making excuses, or is this an explanation? I don't know.
We'll wait to see how it turns out.
Right.
Are you accepting responsibility?
I am. Yes.
Then
you know what? It wouldn't have made us a make us or break us. It wasn't a make us or break us.
Broke us.
It wouldn't have moke us or broke us. Yeah, something. It's not that kind of. It's not like Skankfest. But it's fairly big. I mean, it's been going, and JT's been doing it now. I think probably 10 years or so, and it's growing, and it would be a good thing. And but I don't think it would have been worth flying to Texas and flying you guys to Texas and this year, right now. I don't. Maybe next year. Maybe we'll do it next year. So yeah, there's that. I forgot. I just forgot. I don't know how I just forgot, but I've been forgetting a lot of things lately.
Speaking of forgetting, can I ask you a personal question, Matt?
Yeah.
Do you have a lawn, and when is the last time you mow it? I mean, when's your final mow for the season?
Yeah, it's a good question. For me, 3 weeks ago was the last time I mowed it. It hasn't grown since then. It's got leaves on it. And the question is kind of complicated here, because the first question is, when do you rake the leaves? My theory is you wait until December when all the leaves are off the tree to rake the leaves. You don't do it piecemeal, because you go out there, you rake the leaves, and then you turn around and
there's more leaves.
Yeah. So, but my wife doesn't subscribe to that idea. So get a little bit of.
I mean,
unfortunately, she's got other stuff to deal with. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, honestly, like if you wanted to, the best thing you could do is to like mulch those leaves up and put them and like have them scatter on your lawn.
That's why I said it's kind of complicated, because I also am the kind of guy who will just say, bring the lawnmower out, let me chop them all up to shit so you can't even tell there's leaves there. My wife doesn't like that approach either. Also,
I mean, that's honestly, I think that's the most environmentally friendly version to do.
Well, I'll bring that up if in case that has any weight with her. I doubt it does.
I mean, it could. It honestly could. It's far less wasteful.
Well,
Well, I know I have one. I think I have one more mow left, and I'm going to do that this afternoon. One more mow, and I'm doing that this afternoon.
There's got to be we should have a band or something called One More Mow. Because there was a band when I was a kid. This is how I got inspiration from this band, because there was 3 guys, but the name of the band was 5 guys named Mo, and that was always interesting. So when I had Carlos Allende Trio, there were 4 of us, and people would say, "Why is it a trio?" And I would just say, "We're bad at math." But the other part of that equation is I have 40 acres and a mule. I don't have minus the mule.
So you're black. So you got the deal. You got the deal.
I got the deal.
My God,
reparations for bald people. It was an early mistake that the country made. So, but most of the acreage here is hilly, and I am by nature a homicidal maniac, and run with the even though it's a powered mower. I want to get it done as fast, and so I do it like a maniac. I want to get it done as fast as possible, and that will lead to heart attack and stroke often. And I have to lay on the floor like gasping for breath for like 3 hours when I'm done, because
Bro.
running up hills and running down hills and all. And at my age, it's not really a smart thing to do, but I do it anyway because I'm not a smart person.
Well, and see, now I'm in Maryland, so I'm a little bit more south than you are. So my autumn drags a little bit behind yours. So I have like one more mow. The leaves are starting to fall. And this is the season when we just start to bring in our windshields at night because of frost. Because if you leave your windshields out, it'll frost over and then you got to scrape them in the morning. But this way, you bring your windshields in, no frost, you just put them on the car and you just take off. So
I loved it. I love because I was watching the wheels turn here. He said, I'm in Maryland. Oh, yes, I'm dealing with a bunch of fucking idiots. So I have to say, that's a little bit south of you.
well, it wasn't for you. Technically, it was for those. It was for those out there who have no idea.
It could have been for me, to be honest.
No.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, because I was thinking more seasonally, because people don't realize like Maine is already in their third snow. Actually, and technically, here's the deal. This is something that I told my wife, that this is the only good thing I found so far about global warming. Usually in Maine, by now you're in your fourth snowstorm. Okay, and people are layered up like with 9 layers of clothing, and you can't identify even your own family in the front yard. But because of global warming, the shooter that they had in Maine was dressed like he was in South Florida. And so we could see his face and identify him sooner. That's the only good thing I could find about global warming. Because had it been no global warming, he'd have been dressed with a ski mask, goggles, hat, flippity flop shoes, tennis rackets for shoes.
There's a story that was trending that I can't like in this Apple News app. The headlines come up, and the popular science is like why you need to rethink everything you know about seasons. And I wanted to read the article.
Yeah, because the poles are shifting.
Whatever. I don't know what the real story is because I can only read the headline. When you click on the story, it's behind the paywall. So if you go down just directly to the site, it's not there. And so I don't know what they were saying about that. But it definitely seems like, and Fred, who used to own all the venues, but got all the best venues on Long Island that we performed at. He used to own them, but he got caught like with his hand in the till, and the government made him give them up. All of them. He used to tell me that from his perspective in running those beach venues, that the seasons were shifting in time. That spring started later, summer started later, fall started later, all that kind of stuff. That was his theory. I don't.
Well,
he's a crazy old drunk. I forgot. I should have prefaced it with that. He's a crazy old drunk who came up with that.
Well, see, so people think of fall as being a calendar thing, and they'll go, okay, this date hits, and now it's fall. But as far as the trees go, like your trees started turning orange, like maybe a week or two before mine. And in Maine, they don't even have trees anymore. They just have like branches, except for the pines and the firs.
My trees are still the same color. You mean the leaves?
Right, the leaves have Well, actually, your trees, no, your trees may be more
as they say, the trees don't turn orange.
Well, my trees do turn color. I don't know what's wrong with yours. No, my trees turn color. Now, wow. I think it's camouflage. I think my trees are actually trying to hide from the deer. I think it's camouflage.
I think we're pretty much a stone's throw from Maryland. I don't think our leaves really even notice the difference.
I think your leaves do notice the difference. I think if you drive up 95 and take a picture of each tree as you get toward Maine, you'll see the gradual difference, especially if you can get the same species.
Single tree along the way. Yes, that would be good.
Especially if you get the same species.
Yeah, okay. I'm glad you caught that, man. I was just like, Jesus Christ.
But you have to get the same species so that you can actually make a comparison. Because if you take a picture of an oak and a pine, well, the pines, they don't have leaves to fall off. So was it? And well, he's like, what the?
Right. Wow. See, I knew this show was going to suck. Didn't I say?
Man.
It's turning into, are you kidding? This is turning to a Will Nye the Science Denied guy.
Right. Will Nye the Science Denied guy. And Kelly, you're the president of your fan club. Well, she posted a thing with Jim Norton this morning, and I had to. 'Cause he's talking about. He said, people, just a bunch of dumbasses, people, pundits on cable television, which
Right.
his conclusion is correct, but he makes a bad argument about it. But Kelly loves Jim Norton, and I just love to beat on Jim Norton.
Dude, I watched that clip that you sent to me. Well, I guess I didn't
Oh,
watch it, but I listened to it because it was just
Dave
audio.
Landau, yeah.
Oh my god, bro. That was uncomfortable to listen to for a minute. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like,
He's a feisty little guy. You wouldn't expect that from a guy who's 4'3" or whatever
well,
he is.
and I think that he just kind of got kind of defensive when that guy, what was the other guy's name that he was arguing with?
Kevin Brennan, who's
Yeah,
Neil Brennan's brother. Yes.
I think that to me, it felt like he was definitely more the instigator of the situation.
Kevin
You know what I
Brennan
mean?
was
Like
being Kevin Brennan was being a total dick about the whole
Right.
situation. He's
Right.
bitter because he didn't get the gig, and then he's
Right.
bashing everybody, including the guy who got the gig. Well, it's not his fault that he got the gig.
Yeah. What's he supposed to say no to a gig like that? Yeah, you're not going to do that.
I insist you give that gig to Kevin Brennan. He deserves it more than I do. Like, fuck you, dude.
Yeah.
So yeah, he was instigating it, but I just taken back by the balls Dave had, and I'm glad he has those balls. Oh, listen to me. Me and Jordan Peterson are both glad that Dave has the balls to come back at Kevin, because Kevin Brennan's much taller, which is intimidating if you're a little guy.
And I would have. I wish I could have like seen it because like I would like to know like exactly how that altercation went, because it was clear that Kevin got up and like went towards Dave at some point, but like you don't know like I didn't know the extent of it because there wasn't video for what I was seeing. What I got sent. It wasn't a video; it was just audio. And so I am very curious as to like how close they came to an altercation.
Yeah. And it sounded like one point Kevin Brennan ran out of the studio. I wish there were video of it, and I'm sure there was. I don't know why they never published that, but
yeah, I don't know.
Now, Will, just so you know, at one point Matt was thinking that you and I should have a confrontation so that we could boost ratings.
I did at one point. I'm still on it, even before this is a coincidence or not, but before I heard that thing, I was thinking in the car that because the Howard Stern guys love the confrontation. Anybody who's a longtime listener of Howard Stern, their biggest thing are sharing clips of when there were fights in the studio, infighting on the show. And I thought, well, maybe we need some of that to get some people passionate about listening to the show if we fight more. And then what can I do to get Willie and GD fighting? What can I do?
Here's my proposal. Willie, you get to pick the type of shank, and I get to pick the venue. And so whatever shank you want to use, if you want to use a toothbrush or old spoon, whatever, we have to make our own weapons. So you pick the raw material for the weapon, and that'll give you the advantage because you have 10 years experience with that. I get to pick the venue, and I'm going to choose chocolate pudding. That way I can have camouflage, and you don't know where you're stabbing. And I'll just disappear into the pudding, and you just I'll come out the pudding and go, I got you.
You wanna fight me in chocolate pudding? That sounds very homoerotic. I'm not gonna lie. That's
for the listeners at home. I just want to remind you. Right from the start, I said the show was gonna suck. I just want to remind you that as we move forward.
On the other hand, pudding sales just went up.
I mean, so listen, I'm not really in favor of shanks. There was a guy in the prison that I was in that what he did is he took the thumb toothbrushes, because like when you've been really bad and you're in ad sag, you don't get a long regular toothbrush because you might make a shank out of it or whatever. So you get it's called thumb brushes. So it's literally like a little piece that you can hold on to with your thumb and a finger, and just the brushes. It's like this big. You know what I mean? But this guy had taken razor blades and he melted those brushes and he like fused the razor blades into the like toothbrush bristles. And he did this on like 8 of his fingers. And then he attached those razor bladed thumb brushes to his fingers and like went after somebody and like mauled them like a bear. Um, Sawyers. I don't remember his first name, but his last name was Sawyers. But that guy, like, that was one of the most like ingenuity, like the ingenuity it took to make himself a bear capable of mauling someone.
You know,
That
the
was
funny
pretty
thing is,
impressive.
in Canada, they called it the British Columbia hello.
Okay, that's a good place to segue this. Now we're running very late. We were supposed to have the first guest in 10 minutes ago. He's sitting there patiently waiting to have
Well, what a guy.
his first interview, which I'm thinking he's probably regretting by this point. He's probably thinking, maybe this
First
isn't
and
the
last.
show. So we're gonna run a very quick commercial. The quickest commercial we have. What's the quickest one we have? Creative Live. Creative Live is the best. It's the quickest commercial we have. Creative Live is offering 70% off their entire inventory. You'll find out about them right here, right now. Quick.
It's time to unleash your creative excellence. Dreams won't work if you don't. They never happen overnight, and they rarely follow a straight line. Excellence is the result of the hustle, consistently pushing to do better. And success looks different for everyone. CreativeLive.com charts paths and tailors content for students, but they also encourage independent thinking and exploration. Go outside of your comfort zone. Who knows, you might actually like it. Right now, you can get up to 70% off through this exclusive offer for Coffee with the Dog. CreativeLive.com has site-wide sale for Coffee with the Dog listeners. Save up to 70% off. Go to minddogtv.com and click on the link on the homepage now.
Or just wait till it just stays faded to black forever and ever and ever. Why don't one of you guys clip off that black? Anyway.
I'm not going to do black on black crime.
Right,
I'm not going to do
black
it.
on black. Got it. You'd have to move to Chicago for that.
Yes, that's exactly.
Man.
Anyway, it's time to meet our first guest, Christoph Morrow. Like Vic Morrow. You know about Vic Morrow. No. Sorry, there's something wrong with me.
Vic Morrow, remember Vic Morrow.
Yeah. He's a veteran, a journalist, an author, and a guy who wrote me a really kinky poem just a few days ago. And I said, I offered to you guys, I said, what do you think we offer this guy a guest? And you said, the morning show only. Which we're going to find out. We're going to meet him right now. Ladies and gentlemen, please open your ears, open your minds. And let's welcome in the very regretful Christoph Morrow. Christoph, welcome.
Good morning. Yeah, thank you for having me.
How are you?
I'm doing well. Like you already mentioned, it's my first interview, so
yeah,
I collaborated with all my friends trying to figure out what you might ask, and I said, I think this guy's crazy. I don't know.
Well, first I'm going to ask. I've never gotten a poem before as a. Where'd that come from? And wait, even before I ask you about the poem, why you wrote the poem, you start off with, you seem Tobias. Now, Tobias is a name, a first name. Where did we get Tobias? What did you mean by you seem Tobias?
Have you seen Arrested Development?
Yeah, probably an episode or two. I don't have television, so.
Well, there's a character named Tobias Futke, who plays he's a psychiatrist or psychologist or something. But anyway, it's played by David Cross, and he has a bald head and a mustache.
David Cross. I love David Cross.
Yeah, he's really funny. He's very funny.
Very cool. All right. Well, that explains it. Now, what compelled you to write a poem? And do you do this? Have you done this to other show hosts to get on their
No,
shows?
you're actually the first. You're actually the first I've done it for, and I
Okay,
mean,
you're not cheating on me.
but yeah, I mean, and I was worried. I was nervous that I had said something that maybe would have hurt your feelings. So I wrote a poem also that went after myself. Pretty so. Anyway, just to
No, I have
demonstrate
no
my.
feelings. First of all, I have no feelings to hurt,
I was
except
gonna
my
say that,
shoulder.
but I didn't want to interrupt him.
And
But
so,
no, I appreciate the effort. It's just when you see that, your first inclination is this guy might be crazy as fuck,
yeah.
and these guys thought crazy as fuck is a good thing, and I thought,
Mhm.
well, he could find out my
Yeah.
home address and come and kill me.
I was like, this is a unique individual that we must talk to.
Now, I want to know what questions did your friends come up with that you thought you might have to answer, because I can guarantee you the questions I ask you are not going to look like those questions. Like,
No,
for example, your wristband, the thing on your wrist. Why? And it better be a good story, because if it's a boring story, I'm going to regret asking.
It looks like
you
a
about
carpal
it.
tunnel thing. I had one of those.
Yeah, he
Go ahead.
masturbates too much, is what that is.
It is. No, see, this is fine. I'm left-handed.
Hey.
I have Tourette's, right? So and part of my tics is that I punch things and I can't help it. I'm compelled by my deformed brain to do this, and so I've injured my
Hawaiian
hand.
punch, or is this like a real punch?
A real punch, and
Okay.
I've like I've messed up. My hand is chronically swollen. And
Man.
it's really sore all the time, and
Right.
I can't
You
use it.
probably
I
get
can't
a lot
really use it
of,
anymore. In
like-
fact, like I can't grab things. Like right now, I can't. So I have to use everything with my left hand.
Right.
Holy
Because
smokes.
it hurts to.
Do your friends
Do you get a
have
lot
to
of
stand up?
fracture, like boxer breaks? The like just the slight fractures? Is that
Yeah, I
probably
think-
what happens more than anything?
Yeah, I would have to presume that's what it is, because it doesn't exactly fracture like on a scale that's visible to like on
Right,
an
just kind of
X-ray.
cracks.
Yeah, but it's definitely like you can tell the difference in the size of my knuckles if you're in person. It's quite
Right.
stark.
Wow,
yeah.
that's interesting. Now, do your friends have to stand like an arm's length away from you because you might punch them?
Or just
You
stay
know
on
what?
the left side?
You know, actually, yes. There's a couple of things that I have to be concerned about when you have Tourette's. Like, for me, how it has manifested. I have a rather severe manifestation of it. But for example, I have a cat named Sparkles, and she's elderly, and so like if I'm cuddling her, or petting her, I can't be near her ears because I might scream, and that would that would really hurt.
Wow.
I remember when my ex one time, I had a tick when I woke up, and my tick, I punched her in the face.
Oh my gosh.
Wait a minute. Couldn't you
She
just
was
take
sitting.
the tick off and like, or maybe can't you like, or wear a
Can I
collar?
tell you something, GD?
Wear a collar so the ticks don't get on you?
It's funny you make that joke, because I saw a dude. I was playing an online game. I saw a guy with a tick something. He had a tick in his username. So I wrote him, and I found out that guy's like one of the wealthiest landowners in Montana or something, and he's super nice, and we're friends now. It's amazing. He's a funny dude.
Well, that punching the wife in the face, or girlfriend in the face, I wish I would have known about that, because I could have used that as an excuse.
Yeah, it was my
times.
Tourette's, babe. I'm sorry.
I'm joking. I never hit a woman
Twice.
ever. So it's a joke. These are jokes, folks. Is there treatment for this, or you could just accept it? This is the way your life is going to be.
It's actually what you would have to give me an entirely new brain, because part of my brain is actually literally deformed. So it's just going to remain dysfunctional forever. Now, the only treatment that's available to me now is called deep brain stimulation, where they cut a hole in my skull this is all while I'm awake.
Right, because they have to monitor your reactions.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So they put and then they put a rod that's hollowed in the middle, all the way down into the very deep middle center of my brain, and they put an electrical lead, and then they connect that lead to a battery that goes underneath my skin below my collarbone. But that seems too risky, considering my.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that, bro. Holy shit.
It's only risky if you do it yourself. If you have a friend do it, they can
Fucking.
see. Yeah,
I think they go to school for it and practice. And
I mean, still though, I'm listening to you describe this shit, and I'm like, I think I'd rather have some fucking ticks. You know what I mean? Like, holy fuck,
Yeah.
man.
all
Yeah.
right.
okay.
Like-
Now, all right. So your brain is misfunctioning. Your brain is deformed.
Uh-huh.
Is there a
All the
different
above?
tick? Yeah. Is there a different tick that you can substitute ticks? Like you have
Oh,
to
yeah.
have a tick, but which other tick would you rather have than this? You're going to have a tick. So what other tick would you rather have?
You know what? I've actually the one I've actually been saying lately is fine with me. Because I have been saying some words I can't repeat here without them being ticks. I think I feel we're gonna be somewhere, but I just wouldn't. Anyway, but
Well,
I
say
say
nigger. You can say nigger. It's okay.
I say
We do all the time.
I say
Yeah.
I say catamaran. It's just really weird.
What the fuck?
I know.
I'd rather be called
I
nigger.
know. I don't know where it comes from, honestly.
God.
You
I'm-
catamaran
Yeah,
bastard,
see,
you.
that's it. I'm done. You'll be calling me a catamaran. Okay,
Yeah.
I can call me a catamaran. You can't call me a catamaran.
What the fuck?
You know what that reminds me of? The word like, yeah, that's so funny. Anyway, so
I got questions though.
okay.
Now you're a vet. When you go into boot camp, they give you a rifle, knowing that you have this tick that could, I mean, no concerns. Because generally, I would think they used to deny you getting into the military if you were, under a height limit, if you had like bone spurs, whatever. I mean, little things like that. But having a tick and then giving you weapons, that seems like a kind of risky.
Yeah, that's
thing.
inconsistent with logic. Okay, and I agree because I didn't have Tourette's then, though. Really, it didn't manifest until I was in the Navy, actually.
Wow.
Okay. Okay.
That was-
I
that's-
thought that
so
might
that-
have been the case.
So
Yeah,
the Navy gave you Tourette's.
I don't know exactly what
Now,
how like the
did you
genesis
catch
of
it
it.
from the boats? Because their boats have all these turrets on the top. That
That's
shoot.
what I was gonna say.
Yeah. So they have
That's
like
right.
all these
Turrets.
Yeah.
That's right.
Turrets.
Yeah.
I used to go out every Friday night with a turret, so that's probably what it happened.
But seriously, now did the stress of being in the Navy kind of is stress? What brings
yeah.
it out?
It's actually a confluence of symptoms. So, like for example, I found out only a few years ago that I have. I've always known that I have sleep apnea, but I didn't realize it was so severe that I wasn't getting literally any sleep. And that's what the doctor told me. He said you didn't fall into deep sleep once, so I wasn't sleeping. And the other thing is, I was in the military. If you're late for work, it's a thing. It's a real serious thing. Like you can't just regularly be late for work. You'll go to jail. Like
Right.
it's a serious thing. So I used to have like really bad anxiety about waking up not on time. So I would wake up like a dozen times a night until finally I just sort of cracked. I think, and I one night just started having something that resembled seizures. And then I had a number of others while I was in the ICU for 3 days, and then they were like, I don't think you're supposed to be deployable as a corpsman, so this isn't going to work out. So I left.
Deplorable or deployable?
Deployable.
Wow.
You
Yeah,
don't become deplorable
So
until
did you get a
grown up.
medical leave then, a medical discharge?
Yeah, it was an honorable medical discharge. Yeah.
Okay.
Very-
Okay. Man.
Yeah, because I was, as soon as you said the tick, I was thinking, that's got to be pretty risky just to put a rifle in a guy's hand, knowing that.
Yeah. I can't even hold like utensils
I bet
now.
you
Like,
they would make great infantrymen, though. You put them on the front line.
yeah.
Because they're expendable. And you don't have to pay when they get,
What?
We're just chaos.
saying. Yeah, exactly. That's
chaos.
it. 'Cause
We're agents of chaos out there.
Yes.
Right.
And they'll be going like, wait a minute, they're shooting each other. They don't care. We better surrender. They don't care. We should just surrender.
Look how
They
much
don't give a
friendly
fuck about
fire they got
anybody.
going on over there.
Yeah, we give up. We give
God.
up. We surrender. Because y'all just don't give a shit.
And this is why.
I know I've had people back down from a fight before just on the merit of, I'm pretty sure this dude's out of his mind.
That's why they see those
Like,
videos of people getting naked and then, like before they start a fight, and the other person's like, "Nah, no, okay, I'm done."
Yeah. You let them crazy stuff. Yeah, no, it's
Yeah. So I say put the entire infantry and make the entire infantry people with Tourette's and other ticks and just put them out there.
It's
Wow.
funny you mentioned that people like approaching you because like when I'm out in the street and like I'm walking out in a city and people approach me to ask me for things like money or a donation or anything like that. I have Tourette's,
Wow.
so that just starts firing off, and you would be surprised at how many people are like, "Okay, man, all right," and they think I'm faking it. They totally think I'm just pulling their fucking leg, and I'm like, "No,
Right.
no, it's real. I
You
really."
call
Well,
him
because there's plenty of asshats out there that are faking it, you know, and they probably
Yeah.
ran into a few of them in their days of asking people for things. Were there like signs prior to you going to the military though that like, and maybe not that you noticed or whatever, but now looking back that you know, like that was probably a sign that I was going to develop this, or
Other than going into the military, was there another
I
sign?
mean, yeah, that's I mean,
Oh man, yeah. Um, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think that there was just like the very necessary ingredients like to sort of um depreciate my brain's ability to like otherwise function normally. So
right.
like on top of having a child, because Tourette's can be manifested through a lot of abuse and stuff like that. Um, so if I had survived all that time resisting it, and then finally you join the military, things are quite stressful.
right.
I
Well,
mean, you're
right,
just
no, like
compounding. It's
Yeah.
exponential.
yeah,
Let's
that
stop
was
busting his balls for a second about the Tourette's.
I was gonna ask him about the book.
Yeah.
Okay,
Let's
so
talk about his book.
so do you
Tell,
want to be called Christoph or Chris? Because let's go to
Uh,
let's get this
I
or
I
off.
don't care. I really don't care, honestly.
Mr.
Okay,
Morrow.
okay, Peter. All right, Peter.
Yeah.
When you when you wrote the book, um, the, did your editor have to remove like 900 catamarans from the book? So that,
No.
uh,
Oh my god. You know, it's so funny. Yeah, it's a really funny thing that you asked that because writers, there's like certain words that you gravitate towards simply because like, just for the context of your life are somehow attractive to you. You end up using them a lot, so you have to like watch out for that. But actually, Tourette's like it really doesn't manifest while I'm working, which is amazing because I can commit myself wholly mentally to the task because it's I love it more than anything else in the entire world.
You
Um,
have to stay working 24/7 then, and then you'll be okay.
yeah, that's right, and
yeah,
then I'll heal.
you become a
Yeah.
just never
workaholic.
stop
Yeah,
working.
What?
workaholic.
Tell us what the book is about, and it's 2 volumes, and so give us an idea of what the book, what's the subject of the book in.
Well, essentially, it's meant to be an allegory for our older generations now living in a sort of paradise, while the rest of the world has to confide in chaos
I'm down
and
with
I
that
mean
because I'm the
savagery,
older
like to
generation,
survive.
so I'm cool with it.
There's
So far, I'm on board with your book. Go ahead.
So yeah, there's a in the book there's a literal paradise, and outside of that paradise is a kind of a Game of Thrones world, except there's like not really magic in my world because I'm not really big on magic, just because it can be unruly and stuff like that. But it's essentially I'm trying to talk about climate change, empire, everything but racism and sexism in the same sense that Tolkien did it, where it was about the spirit of the characters and how they could persevere no matter what size or who they were or where they came from.
All
I
right, if
tried
I
to
could
recreate that. Yeah.
well, interrupt you for 1 second there.
No,
Without racism and sexism, you just lost those two guys.
yeah.
You just completely lost them.
And matter of fact,
And they are the minister of. He's the minister of racism. He's the minister of sexism.
and you lost Willie when you said allegory. Okay.
That's the third word. It is an allegory. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Al
And
who?
Willie was like, and
I
then when you
never
said
heard of
I
Al.
fucking hate Al Gore.
No, I just feel like everybody's kind of stressing that lately, and I'm just not really into talking about that
I
component of
mean,
like our
simplicity
suffering.
can be key though too. There's no reason to overcomplicate the story.
That's right, exactly. And it's just I want people to feel like they can read it and connect with the person without there being the
Yeah,
baggage of like of the conflicts that we deal with right now, because that seems so petty in comparison to the things that we actually have to deal with, which is climate change, like and other
Uh,
things.
well,
And yeah,
let me talk to you about this a little bit because one of the
catamaran.
things that I talk about all the time is that I totally believe in climate change is real,
Mhm.
and I used to be. I mean, if you go back 20 years, I probably had the opposite opinion. I thought, it was all uh, just panic and stuff. And I was looking at weather patterns, which is not climate, and looking at that and saying, well, if all and go back to Al Gore when he was pitching these ideas, I was if this is true, why are we not seeing like record-breaking temperatures every single day and all that kind of stuff, and using that kind of logic? But for a long time now, I've been convinced by climatory study of things that it absolutely is real. I'm not sure, and I don't say Israel as a nation. Israel it absolutely is real. And I get a lot of pushback. I mean, if you look at the comments on my YouTube thing, it's one of the things that makes people really angry about me is I talk about climate change and people who deny it, and people get angry at me. My thing is the argument shouldn't be whether it really is happening or not happening. The argument, if there is any, is what can we do about it?
Right.
It reminds me actually of something. It reminds me of the same argument that we're dealing with abortion rights, in the sense that we're moving the goalpost. Like the Overton window shifts whenever someone approaches a representative, and they say abortion should be illegal for these reasons. And if the first argument by the representative isn't women have agency, or people that can get pregnant have agency, period, end of story, then the window has shifted in the favor of the authoritarian, like of taking away the rights. So like you can't, if it's not that, then you were just. So the last time I heard, and like I live in Canada now, and Justin Trudeau, like he was confronted on the streets about this issue, and he actually said, well, what if the woman was sexually assaulted? What if she was sexually? And I was like, that's not good. That's not a healthy sign for me. Like to hear the prime minister, that's the first thing. Like that's the most extreme.
You gave up the argument before you even engaged. Yeah, absolutely.
Now, Chris, was it Dave? Arnold. Okay,
it's Jerry.
Jerry. Now, when your tick manifests, do you punch up, side, or down? Because we don't like people who punch down.
Yeah, everywhere. I stomp.
We'll get to that later.
Okay.
We want to stay on the book. So with the idea, and 2 books. Did you know you were writing 2 books at once? Why volumes 1 and 2?
Well, I had a plan. Originally, my marketing plan was because I didn't know I couldn't do this first. So I split it into 2 volumes, and I said, I'm going to give the first volume away for free. And then I'm going to have the second volume available so that if people want to buy it, that's the way they can support me, and they can show that they're actually interested. So I don't want people to feel like, they know what they're getting into without before they pay for it. But I ended up learning that I couldn't do that. So I combined them into one. And the way that I priced them is the Kindle's like 99 cents. And then I priced the paperback as low as I possibly could. But the hardback is like $40, which is to like basically say like if you support me, then that's how you can do it. But otherwise,
interesting. Now, you self-publish these?
I did, yeah, I did because good.
Are you learning about did you have knowledge of the publishing business before you got started with this, or was it something new to you that you're learning now? Because it's, publishing authors don't really think, like musicians and comedians don't necessarily think about the business when they're crafting their art. And then they find out, wow, this is more than just being funny or just writing music. This is work.
Yeah.
Did you know about the publishing business before you got started?
I mean, I had investigated a little bit, and like I worked as a reporter, and so I knew a little bit about it. But in terms of like how much marketing would go into it, I learned. Here was my rationale. I realized like over a decade ago, more than a decade ago, Justin Bieber became famous through YouTube, and we've had. Hundreds of people, maybe even thousands of people become really famous through platforms that are provided for free and allow their media to be distributed for free to as many all over the world. And so, and then I learned that HarperCollins purchased Simon & Schuster, I think, or it's the
Yeah.
other way around. I can't remember.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I saw, and those are the two in my mind, those are the two that I know of: Penguin Publishing, HarperCollins, Simon Schuster, and the Gummer Brothers. But they're the biggest ones, and I can't. And when I saw that they were being purchased, I said, nah, they self-publish. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter anymore. It used to matter. It used to matter when the internet wasn't as ubiquitous as it
Actually,
is now. People
if I can,
but
just
everybody
interrupt
in the
you,
world has them.
right? It's actually
That's cool.
better to be self-published now because
Mhm.
you're getting 100% of the profits because these big houses, Random House, Simon and Schuster, all these people, they do nothing for you. They just
Yeah.
they print the book for you.
Mhm.
You still have to do all the work. So
Mhm.
whether you self-publish or not, you're still going to have to do all the work. The only difference is they're going to take 70% of the profits. So it's not it's not just as
It's
good.
more
to
than that,
self-
actually.
Yeah, it's more than that. So
Wait a minute. I used to work for Random House. They take more than that, and they were giving us that little bit of money.
The
Holy
most recent
shit.
ones. They said the most recent reports that I saw was that a very generous amount of money was like 13%, 13 to 15%. Yeah. But generally it's about between 5 and 10% for
Right.
each sale. So like, so they're, I mean, but the difference is that they say that publishing
Excuse me,
companies
sorry.
they have distribution, and they know how to get your book in like different bookstores all over the
No,
country. But that's
they put it in bookstores, but nobody's going to buy it if it's not marketed, and they don't
nobody
put
knows
any
who-
money behind it, marketing
No.
and all that kind of stuff, unless you have a name like whatever Harry Potter
Right.
girl is, and all that stuff. And yeah, the distributorship, nobody's going to stores to buy books anymore. They're buying them online.
Yeah. And so I thought it was a really antiquated trying to use that method to like get into publishing and marketing my book and stuff like that. So I just went with self-publishing. It just seemed like a smart thing to do.
Now, Chris, have you thought of, as a marketing idea, just dating Taylor Swift? I mean, eventually she'll come around to you. And then using that as a jumping off point.
Wait, I missed it because it skipped out for a second. What did you?
Oh, just have you thought of using dating Taylor Swift as a marketing ploy?
You did it again. Did it? Am I the only one that saw that?
Yeah, no, it's not happening for us, but it's good that it's happening for you because it's a bad joke anyway.
Yeah, but a bad joke.
I
is
hear
better
everybody
the third
else
time
like
you tell it. Everybody knows a bad joke is better the third time you tell it. Everybody.
All right,
knows.
try it one
That's
more
a rule
time.
of comedy. Okay. Chris, have you tried as a marketing device?
We have to, it's like I'm serious. I feel like there's like some kind of divine situation happening right now because like it's like he's messing. I don't know. I'm not one for conspiracy theories, but something's happening over there.
Something is definitely happening. I knew this was going to happen today. I called
Swifties are doing this because it didn't start until then.
He said, "Have you considered dating Taylor Swift as a marketing strategy?"
Oh my gosh! You know what? I've actually learned. I've actually learned recently. I had a poor opinion of her for a long time. But then I learned like the last like however many albums she's done they don't mention anybody specific. Like she doesn't talk. It's like not a breakup. It's all about like social issues and stuff like that. So I don't know how many albums she's done like that. And also she brought up voter registration for the demographic 18 to 30 in Tennessee or 18 to 21 by 50%. In the 2020 election. So or 2018. It might have been the midterms of 2018, but she's done extraordinary work on that front. So like I mean it's easy to give somebody that's like literally got their hands in like everything to find something. But for the most part, I think she does all that stuff in good faith.
Listen, the fact that she $50 million she gave away towards working people. Now, it makes me think, how much friggin' money does she have?
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy, though. Yeah, that ain't right. I get it. I mean, if anybody's gonna have $50 million, that's good.
If you got $50 million to give away, it probably means you're close to being a billionaire at least, right? Yeah, good for her, but
she could buy her own team instead of just dating one player.
Yeah, nobody is good. Is that good a musician that they
That's
should
it. That's it. She wants to buy the Chiefs, and she's just sampling the players one at a time. And if it works out, she's going to buy the whole team.
Christoph, I'm glad you came on today because you're seeing GD on his very last performance on this program, and we are sad to see him go in a little. I mean, a little. Anyway, so writing the book now, you've been marketing it through social media. Is that an enjoyable experience for you, or you want to go back to writing and do your next work on your next book?
I do both. I try to do like John Steinbeck. He said you write a page a day. If you write a page a day, and after 400 days, suddenly you have a whole book, right? And that's a really great strategy. But yes, yeah. But I don't really enjoy social media except for when I actually have some kind of meaningful exchange with someone on there. I mean, but the act of like actually making videos and stuff, I find very tedious.
It's
And
terrible.
so
I hate. Yeah.
I don't even bother like re-recording things. I might record something twice. Like I might try it twice, and if I mess up, like it's unless I like completely fall silent for 15 seconds,
Right.
and I'm not gonna. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
care.
That is what it is. Yep. That's
Me
what it's
neither.
gonna
I'm
look
not
like.
a perfectionist at all.
Yeah.
I'm in. I don't know what you would call that. The opposite of perfectionist.
Not
I'm a
give a shit.
sloppolist.
Yeah,
I'm a
Yeah.
sloppolist. Yeah.
You're an anti-bureaucrat. Yeah.
Yeah. Now you live in Canada now, right? You live,
Mhm.
but originally from Texas.
Yeah.
What is the motivation? Why?
You don't have to ask why. We know why you left Texas. We don't know why you picked British Columbia.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always found the mountains to be a really romantic geological formation. I don't really know what to call them. I've always found them
Because
really
they look like
lovely.
kids.
Yeah, well, they're very they are siblings of like earthly violence. Like it's the plates that are clashing, and then they create the mountains. And I've always and I grew up near my grandparents had a house in Galveston, and so I find it. I've always loved the ocean because it's so like I don't know, imposing, and I don't know. It's just I love them both, and I wanted to marry those two things, and so that's in Vancouver. That's where I am.
Are you American? No, do you care about America, or do you consider yourself a Canadian and fuck America? I mean, listen, some people might get angry with you about that, but I wouldn't. I could understand the sentiment.
Where did Texas hurt you? Show us on your body where Texas hurt you.
As when I was a reporter in South Texas, I really enjoyed some components of that work. Some facets of that work were really lovely. Getting to know people and knowing like the struggles of different farmers, which was a big part of it. Because I covered agriculture and sports for a while before I started covering news. But being a reporter, I felt like I started to see a kind of an aggressiveness, an agitation in people that weren't of the same political persuasion.
Yeah.
And a number of other events, like there was a mass shooting at the movie theater that my ex and I used to go to. I would go to a movie theater down the street from my house in Lafayette, Louisiana, and there was a mass shooting there, and 11 people were shot, and 2 of those people were died, and they were women. The guy was trying to kill women. Anyway, so that when I developed Tourette's and it started to manifest in a much more obvious way, and in a way that might imperil me because I can startle people with guns in one of the most like gun-free, like the most gun like loaded states in the country, right? And also like as a 911 dispatcher, I once worked. I did that before a while. I let me tell you, I've lived in Canada now for almost 6 years. I've never been pulled over by the police. Not once.
Right.
When I lived in my hometown
where
I grew up,
they don't have police.
I was pulled over 4 times in 6 months.
Right.
So it's so over policed, and it's terrifying to think that I might like startle a cop, and then they could shoot me
Well, when
dead.
you were a
And
911 dispatcher, did you ever accidentally send the police or an ambulance to a catamaran?
did I send the police?
Fucking. What the fuck?
Chris, my theory, the reason that you haven't been pulled over by police in Canada is because they don't have police. They have like little Mountie guys, and so they don't. You never watched Dudley Do Right. Nobody watches Dudley Do Right. Damn it.
Well, the difference, I tell you, I think that I'll educate it if you guys don't know, but Canadians police force, the RCMP, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, those
Yes.
guys are federally regulated, and so they have a police force that interacts with the daily public every day, not like the FBI, like our regular municipal police or whatever, or sheriff's deputies. They interact with the public that way, and they are federally regulated. We don't have that in the United States.
Right.
Ours is
Well,
patchwork.
we
So
have that, but it's the FBI is that, but it's not. They don't have local.
but
they are
yeah,
overruled by
sorry.
local jurisdictions. Yeah,
That's right. Yeah.
yeah.
Hmm.
Very, very interesting. So let me ask
Yeah,
you:
that is interesting.
Are you an optimist for change? Because you wrote a book that is dealing with these issues, and you wouldn't write it if you weren't on some level hopeful that you could make a difference. Are you an optimist for change, or do you think? I'll tell you flat out that I'm not. I think we're doomed.
I think that large parts of us are doomed. But I think that there's going to be a sizable amount of the population that still argues in good faith, like for our advance. Like, and I think that um, I think that the, it's going to be rather catastrophic. A lot of the climate change stuff. Um, but I don't know if I share. I don't know if I share in your cynicism, because I'm reminded always of John Steinbeck's philosophy as a writer. He said that he wanted to help people understand one another, and the purpose for that is to diminish or to defeat the notion of violence, or the allure of violence. Because you can't, like I wrote in my book somewhere, that you can't seduce fascism with peace. So
Yeah, well, I agree. I hear you want to get people to understand one another. So would I. But the dialogue, and life is not working out that way where we're listening at all. We don't really, and I would include myself in this. When we engage with someone, our first instinct is to say, "Well, that's wrong."
mhm,
If you see something you disagree with, rather than to say, why do you feel that way? What?
mhm,
But because some of the positions are just so unrealistically crazy. I mean, the rise of QAnon and all these absurd conspiracy theories. Uh,
mhm.
Roseanne was on this morning. I was watching a reel from Roseanne. You know my friend Roseanne
Yeah.
Barr. She's saying that Trump is still in charge of the Department of Defense, and she has evidence of that they're taking their orders from Donald Trump. It's
Wait, are you
like,
serious?
and saying that completely seriously, and she's not. People will come back tomorrow and say she was just joking. No, she is saying that she's saying she has documentation. She's going to show everybody all this stuff. I mean, how do you engage with that with somebody like that and say, I want to understand you when you're just batshit crazy? I understand you right from the start. You're fucking nuts. End of story. So, I don't share that the optimism that we can begin to understand each other.
Well, I think that that one of the things that a lot of people are sort of surrendering to is that we don't know everything. Like each person, each individual person. I know that you say that we are rejecting the evidence of what other people are saying, their testimonies about life and whatever, and their philosophy. Like, we are rejecting that, but I think that we're not really just rejecting it. We're actually reflecting within ourselves. I think a lot of people are reconsidering their positions on a lot of things. I mean, you see that in the divorce rate of young people. I think a lot of people are just sort of reevaluating what's important to them, especially as sort of there's more and more discussion about like the serious catastrophic consequences to come, along with I mean, just a number of other variables that we are contending with.
Yeah.
Um,
As far as the younger generation, I am definitely not one of these curmudgeonly old guys who say this younger generation is doomed. I have seen even through this platform lots of really inspirational, incredible young people. But I also I think they're going to extremes. They're either brilliant and really good solid citizens at heart, or they're complete pieces of shit. There's no people in the middle. I've had I've had people. I had a because you were talking about writing a page a day.
Mhm.
I had a 13-year-old author on who had authored. She was on her 8th book, full length. I mean, big books. The last book she had written was 2,000 pages, and it was not. Um, it was not something you would expect from a 13-year-old. I mean, the writing was very adult level, this kind of stuff that would make you want to get a thesaurus out and try to keep up with this kid. 13 years old on her 8th book. And then I've had kids who, trying to figure out how to chew gum and walk at the same time. And then that's all they were interested in. And that's, they live for the next Spider-Man movie or that kind of nonsense. And we see that two extremes. But I am hopeful for that those people, those young people who are really activists and want to save the world and want to and doing something about it. I'm hoping they will be the majority, not the minority. But that's a crapshoot. I think. I don't know.
Well,
But
if you look at the bell curve, to see, I've lived my life according to the bell curve, and I think the bell curve has been reshaped because of the internet and stuff. But I still believe that like 20% of the people are good, 20% of the people are really, really bad, and then the other 60% are like up in here. But of course, I could be totally wrong, and I could be bell biased.
yeah, could be.
I have a similar thing that you just said though. Like numerically, I've tried to divide this society up into like what is our proportion of like indifference, apathy to fascism to people who believe in liberty and democracy and fairness. I think it's about half of the people can be brought either way. So 5 out of 10 people can be brought to fascism or to liberty. It just depends on the momentum of like our of that support for either side. It's for whatever's generated. And they're almost indifferent unless it affects them. And then 3 out of the 10 are unrepentant fascists, and then 2 out of the 10 are believe in liberty and democracy, and then but only 1 out of those 2 is willing to fight for it.
So it is like a bell curve, but the bell part is jello, and it's just like,
So that's what I believe. Yeah.
I
mean,
that's probably there's probably some validity to that. I wouldn't doubt that. But when we saw how easily people who were in their minds constitutional people who were for a representative government, how quickly they became persuaded by the authoritarians and are willing now just to forego their own voice in order to have a daddy figure take over and run the world for us. That's scary when we see how easy it is to become a fascist. So
it's about a lot of the time it's like protecting themselves, right? Like these guys they find out like I mean you saw the Russians hacked the RNC's and the DNC's email.
Right.
So if they did both, but they only released the Democrats, which that's what they did, but they still have the Republicans. We don't know what was in there and why. Like that was years ago.
I told my wife it's leverage.
Yeah.
That's why they didn't release it. If what somebody wants to blackmail you for becomes public, they can't blackmail you anymore. So if you want to continue to blackmail someone, you don't make it public. You just threaten to make it public.
Yeah, there's a form of gray mail too in between there, which is kind of. You put the suggestion out there that you have that kind of stuff or whatever. So all of that.
Yeah, it's like the P tape that we haven't seen. Now, I'm not, see, you assume I'm talking about Trump's. I'm talking about Matt's P tape. Okay.
No.
Just an FYI, it's Roseanne Barr's birthday today.
Oh. So I should send her something? Send her flowers or send her I don't know. What would I
send her a
send my
clue.
friend?
I don't know.
Yeah.
When was she born? Because she might be my father reincarnated, because he died today. And if she was born in 68, they could be like transcendent. Isn't that what it's called? Transubstantiation, when you go from one body to the next instantly?
I think it's called reincarnation. Oh, yeah, you're right. I don't know. I don't know anything. Anyway, Christoph, we are out of time. We have another guest to get to. I appreciate you being here. We hope I put the link in the bottom of Thrift Books. It's also available on Amazon. Is there a website that makes it easier for people to go to?
I don't have my own personal website, but if you Google or use a search engine and you just type in my name,
Yeah,
it will pop up. You know,
let me get the book out of the way so people can see how to spell your name. It's Christoph Morrow, like Vic Morrow.
Oh, it's on the cover too of that book that you just had up.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
at the bottom.
Oh, it's at the bottom, right?
See?
There it is.
Yeah.
Like Christoph that's right. Anyway, it's like tomorrow without the two in it.
That's right.
Christoph Morrow, and only one F in Christoph, not two.
Mm-hmm.
That's
right.
important. Well, we hope people will buy the book. Listen, I know this has probably not been the kind of interview you expected, but I hope we've generated some interest in your book, and I hope you do well with it. And anything we can do to kind of help support that, we will. I mean, if you got anything that's going on, whether it's a book signing or any kind of specials or any kind of that you want to let our people know, just let me know and I will put it out there. And if you continue down the authorship journey and you write your next book, come back and we'll have some fun again.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you guys.
And look, just to be honest, Chris, I really like you. I mean, I don't know you, but I really like the persona that you have here.
Me too.
And,
Good guy.
and so if you can use that I like you as to help your books, great. But don't tell anybody that I like you, because it can ruin your reputation. Don't mention my name, because it could ruin things for you.
Yeah, because nobody likes him. That's the point.
That's it. That's what I'm saying. I like you, but you shouldn't like me back, is what I'm trying to say.
Maybe it's best if you don't tell people you were on the show.
Yeah, maybe, possibly.
Yeah.
But we'll do our best to kind of say we don't know this guy. We've never seen him, but his book is really good, and you should check it out.
We'll give you the Trump treatment. Never heard of Chris. Never heard of him.
Yeah.
He got me coffee once.
You got me coffee once, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, have a great day, and do please come back sometime. We enjoy talking to you.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Bye for now. Christoph Morrow. Well, that was fun. He's a cool guy and thoughtful.
You're welcome.
Oh yeah, you guys both are responsible for him being on the program this morning. So
yeah, but more me than Willie. No,
was it more you?
No, I'm just teasing.
No, it wasn't. Of course not.
No, of course not.
Willie's being quiet though. He let you get away with that
because he's trying to calculate it.
I'm having a lot of technical difficulties here today. I don't know. I mean, you did notice I popped in and out.
Did we? Oh, did you?
Did you not notice? That's even more heartbreaking that you didn't even realize I was gone.
Of course, I miss you. Kelly left. She's not coming back because she thought.
Oh my God! Yeah, that's such a.
Please like, share, and comment. Most importantly, comment below. Leave us a dirty, ugly comment. Say that what was that? I'm quite Tobias.
Yeah, even if you tell me.
Shut up! Shut up! Honky. Well, the honky is a little on low.
This is gonna be my new stage shirt.
Now, George Jefferson, was that hard? Did you get that printed up? And they didn't ask you for?
No, they had these. These were available on the internet.
Oh,
now I thought those shirts would have been the ones like when the team that doesn't win the NBA championship, their shirts get sent to third world countries.
We have our first viewer from Madagascar. I know I haven't really checked this out on all the analytics that we've Madagascar, but I'm betting this is the very first viewer from Madagascar we've ever had.
See if he's one of the penguins, because they're the only ones I know from Madagascar. Those 3 penguins.
All right, we have to move on. I'm going to run another really short commercial, then we're going to meet Corey Rosen, who's the founder and station manager of PBMTV.
Oh, you should do the wine commercial because the bean flicker's still here.
Yeah, but I haven't updated the wine commercial, and she's going to get upset because she's still the one with the siblings. I haven't had time to update the commercials, so we don't have video editors just sitting around when we're sitting on their ass. Anyway, now I'm going to start doing that all the time. Anyway, Naked Wines is for people who like to get naked and drink. No, it's not. It's not that. Why do you insist on saying that's what it is? I'm arguing with myself now. Naked Wines is for people who are spending, let's say you're spending $90 a month on wine, because you probably are, right? If you're a hardcore wino, you're doing at least 50 or 60. You can save money and get better wine. Wouldn't you want to do that? Wouldn't you want?
Direct
Can I
from the
get some?
winemaker?
Can I get some engagement? Wouldn't you want to do that?
You would.
Amen. Yes.
Of course you would.
Can
Fuck
I get a
yeah.
fuck yeah? Thank you.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah.
All right. Well, Naked Wines is a great new way to buy wine. It hooks the makers of the wine up directly with the consumers of the wine, and you get lots of flavor in the juice in the bottle. Check it out.
Welcome to a better way to buy wine. NakedWines.com is a customer-funded wine business. We don't just sell wines, we make them happen. Since launching in the UK in 2008, Angels have helped us invest in over 159 independent winemakers in 14 different countries. Turns out, it's better business for everyone. Our winemakers get to sell all of their wines and make a living. We make the same margins as everyone else and have a lot of fun along the way. And as a wine drinker, for the $40 a month you probably would have spent on wine anyway, you'll get wholesale prices. You can be sure that all of our wines have been lovingly made by a talented winemaker and stripped of all the costs that add nothing to the flavor or quality of the juice in the bottle. Support independent winemakers. Get better wine in return. With the support of 300,000 wine drinkers, we fund talented independent winemakers up front. This way, they get to spend all of their attention on making you the best wine possible. World-class wine, direct from talented independent winemakers. A better deal, up to 60% off market prices. A better way to discover tasty new favorites with over 2 million reviews from wine drinkers like you. Become an angel today. Get started by visiting minddogtv.com and click the banner on the homepage now.
Oh, wait. I hope that thing falls off so we see our nipples. Can we? That damn banner is in the way. You couldn't see her nipple pop out because it was saying PBM TV going right across where it might pop out.
Don't blame Corey. Don't blame Corey. You edited that.
I know. I'm not blaming anybody. I'm just like the banner is in the way. And you know what? A pop out is better than seeing a full shot of a titty. It's just like more exciting.
Janet Jackson.
Yeah, because it's more of a surprise. It's a bonus.
Hello, I'm the nipple.
That's what Janet Jackson proved.
No,
nothing else from her.
Well, that was intentional, right? That was on purpose. Am I wrong about that?
It was intentionally on purpose, accidental.
Okay. Corey Rosen is he's here. How about that? He's here without a reminder last night. He's the founder and station manager of Public Broadcasting Music Television, which is a nonprofit, commercial-free, contribution-based, membership-funded broadcast network. What the fuck does that mean? He's here now. Let's meet Corey Rosen. Corey, welcome.
Hi. Hello, everyone.
How are you? Tell me what I just said. What the fuck did I just say?
Public Broadcasting Music Television. We are a commercial-free network that is dedicated to providing a platform for independent artists.
Okay, that's cool. Now, are you only on the internet or are you actually on television?
No, we're only on the internet right now. We had a couple of opportunities to get on Roku and a couple of the other smart apps, and we decided that for our funding wise, we were going to just stick with what we have right now and try and grow what we have. And once we have a solid base of artists from around the world, then we can expand pretty easily.
Now, a lot of musicians that I deal with, especially independent musicians, don't have funding for real production video stuff. They do lyric videos, and they'll do whatever stock footage videos, all that kind of, because they don't have the resources to put out. That seems to be a major concern, right, for independent musicians. Is how do I? Television's a tough medium. It requires extra work, and it's not just like putting a song together. How do you deal with those challenges?
Well, what we've done is, remember the old public access television?
Oh yeah,
We
we talked about it
decided that,
yesterday.
yeah, we decided that the best model for us was to allow independent artists to provide us anything that would be broadcast worthy. And actually, right now, if you were to go to pbmtv.org, you would see a single webcam video of a yoga class going on right now. Pretty much every morning at 7 a.m. Monday through Friday, we have a yoga class, and it's
Hot
just a
yoga?
video. No, not hot yoga.
So these are ugly chicks?
Huh?
Stop. No.
No. Andrea Brooke, who does our yoga classes in the morning, she is an absolutely gorgeous woman who people tune into to learn yoga and possibly just watch her do yoga.
Yeah, she's there now, and she's doing something that I could never imagine myself doing. Oh my God!
Well, it's also 20 minutes into the class, so I'm pretty sure if you started at the beginning, you might be there.
So this is every day at 10 o'clock in the morning Eastern, or?
Yeah, 10 o'clock Eastern, Monday through Friday. We have 7 a.m. On the East Coast. We are still working on providing the same time schedule on the East Coast as the West Coast, but that would require a completely different broadcast server. So right now we have a single broadcast, and we have the infrastructure to add up to 7 more channels. So once we have enough content, we could have an all music video channel. We could have regionally based channels from Europe, from South America. We have the ability to expand this network into whatever we choose it to be. So yeah.
She has 166 people watching her do this live right now. That includes me. But I think she'd probably do a lot more if there were a possibility of a nipple slip. But it doesn't seem like she's
No, she's a professional.
Yeah, a professional nipple slipper.
Well, last night we had a show called the Ruckus and Rumpus Revival, which is a monthly show done in Oakland. It used to be called Tourette's Without Regrets. And it is definitely much more nipple slip worthy.
Right. Probably a lot of catamarans too.
Yeah, they do a what I call a steampunk variety show, and there's a lot of burlesque dancing, and when we did that during the pandemic, they had a fully nude man painted in green body paint, and
Really?
a painting with the tip of his penis.
Willie, why didn't you tell us you did a show?
That's what I was going to say.
Hey, listen, I told you that I was going to be doing some art stuff.
Wow.
Yeah,
The entire time I'm watching that, I'm thinking, oh, we're going to get shut down any second. Nope,
Now, what about that?
pitch.
It's artistic.
I think it was the green body paint.
There's no regulation on this at all. You can really do whatever you want, right? As long
we're a censorship-free platform. The only thing we don't allow is anything violent or encourages violence. Everything else is free game.
Wow.
So you don't want my comedy then, because people are encouraged to attack me.
When you say comedy, you're using that term very loosely, right?
You don't really have to be funny, right? You just could just say you're a comedian.
Yeah.
Well, hey,
just put it in your name. Just have the
if
word.
you think you're a comedian and you want to give us content that other people may not deem funny, I'm pretty sure we'd put it on anyway.
Well,
Sweet.
I'm glad you said give us content, because this is what I'm curious. Oh, do the artists have to pay to be on the network?
No, we are artists get a free membership, and what we do is provide our platform as a contribution to the artists for providing us with content. And that's the other
Wow.
thing. We don't own any content. We're basically a library. And so we want to fill our library with as much artistic content as we can so we can expand to multiple channels and provide stand-up comedy, provide yoga, provide live music, provide electronic music from all around the world, from artists who just aren't getting enough of a push on their own.
Right. Wow. That sounds like a great opportunity, because I would think there would be lots of comedians who would want to take advantage of something like that, because a lot of them are wasting lots of effort in putting in stuff on TikTok, and some of them are getting views and all that stuff. But the competitive nature of it is, and it's just so that another platform that already has people tuning in and has regular viewers to it might be very attractive to people. So how do people get involved? Is it just filling out a simple form, or?
Yeah, you go to pbmtv.org and you click on our membership link. There is the artist membership, which if you click on that, there's a pretty sizable form, so that we discourage anyone who's not an artist from filling that out. And of course, we have had to cut off some memberships that weren't actual artist memberships. They were trying to use our site to stream on. And we're not a content provider network. If you want that, you've got YouTube, you've got Twitch. And for us, we are specifically looking for artists. The thing that we want to do is show that there's a platform out there that will push artists, unlike YouTube, unlike Twitch, which are just there for a place for you to send your fans.
Right.
We want to create a network that will help them build up their fan base.
Beautiful. Now she's got this webcam going live. What?
It's not live. That's a recorded show.
I was going to say, can somebody do live on your network?
Absolutely. So we have about 40 hours of live scheduled content every week from all over the world. And we're looking for artists who would like to schedule their own shows up to 2 hours long. They can have guests. It can be a talk show like this, as long as it's art-based. One of the things that we'd like to do is take all the things that at least I grew up with on MTV that made it the thing that I like to watch every day and every week, and put those on PBM TV. And one of those things, as you were talking about comedians, was the MTV's half-hour comedy hour. Right. That was a show where they found a really beautiful location and just filmed a whole bunch of comedian sets with their permission, and then cut it up into these clip shows that were just about single jokes, and some episodes were about a specific category, but most of the time it was just random clips. And right. We would love to have a library of comedians clips so that we could put that type of clip show together for PBM TV as well.
Wow. I am old enough to remember the very first day of MTV. And I like the jocks, the video jocks. I like that, that they would play a couple of videos and then come back and talk about them, or have really short interviews with some artists and that kind of stuff. I love all that stuff.
And we're hoping to build that into our network as well as soon as we have more support.
Yeah, I would be willing to be one of those guys. I know I'm probably out of touch with the modern music and stuff, but I would definitely bone up on it if that opportunity. I love that.
Hey,
I
think at the beginning, nobody thought that Kurt Loder was in touch.
Yeah, he was.
No,
He
they
was a
sure
news
fucking
guy, though. He
didn't.
was. He
They
wasn't
sure
a jock.
fucking didn't.
He was a news guy. But along those lines, they created VH1 for the guys who were older, like me, like Don Imus
Yeah.
had a spot on
Yeah.
And again,
Frankie Crocker.
And going back to what we've created, we have an infrastructure where we could create our own VH1. We could create our own Comedy Central. We have that ability within our infrastructure, and all we need is more content.
Wow, I'm sure, when I was doing the Roku channel, I had lots of people wanting to do content.
And we're small. We haven't quite gotten out there yet. So as soon as we do, we feel that a lot of those people who are finding a black hole on YouTube are going to want to come over to our network and see what we can help provide them.
Now you said black hole, and all of a sudden, GD wants to like fight you, but which would be good. It would be good for ratings if you could.
Actually, Corey, this is in '96. I used to have my own radio station on the internet, and I just featured local artists, unsigned musicians. And of course, they weren't, and so it was called clickhere.com, CLIQUE. HEAR.
That's a lot of shit.
What?
That's a lot to remember. What?
I was just spelling it out. CLIQUEHEAR. Click here, because it's a group. Our little click here.
Click here.
But it was all unsigned artists. I'm sorry. No. Sorry.
Oh no, I get it. That the pun is very, very specific.
Well, that's because I didn't want it to be that way. It's just that every other click here was taken.
Yes.
So
that makes sense, especially in
fucking did that. Oh,
no, I'm just saying. I'm saying is I appreciate what you're doing because it's something from within my own heart that I just love to promote unsigned and undiscovered talent.
Now, when you say talent, you mean you use that word very loosely, right?
Well, I have to because I'm including myself. If I was being strict, then I couldn't include myself, and I'd be excluding myself from a club that I want to be a member of.
All right.
We have to use that term loosely as well because we want to accept all artists who consider themselves artists. I don't want to discriminate anyone from joining our network.
Well, since you say that, let me take this opportunity to do this. Comedians who are funnier than Segura. Get out of town. Now, you would never have somebody say you're a bum at get out of town, but it seems to me that since you're, you're not really judging the quality of it, you're letting the artist judge their own quality, that you would accept a guy who's not funnier than Tom Segura. So GD has actually an opportunity there. What kind of pills were those?
Funny pills?
Something that will get me off the show. Okay.
Anyway, no, this sounds like a really cool thing that you're doing. How long have you been doing it?
Well, we started it during the pandemic. I saw all of these people on Twitch with like 5 to 10 viewers, and I felt so bad for them.
I think we have one on Twitch right now. He's from Madagascar. Twitch is a tough thing.
So you probably have more people watching on Twitch than we do on our Twitch channel because we're currently on Twitch as well. But once we advertised that we were moving off of Twitch to our own website, pretty much everybody moved. What I found was that, at least in our research, a lot of people find Twitch a difficult website to maneuver.
Absolutely. And there were, if you're doing... Twitch is for people who are either playing games and you sit there and you just watch a lot of gamer action, or if you're doing something like art sites and people doing like creative arts in real time, watch them paint, watch them create music.
That's why we created PBM TV, because we saw so many artists on a site like Twitch that wasn't created for them, and we wanted to create a site for them. We wanted to create a site that wasn't going to commercialize their art, that was going to give people an opportunity to donate directly to the artist. So we put together an infrastructure where if somebody wants to give an artist $4, that artist is going to get $4 minus whatever the PayPal or Venmo cut would be.
Cool
we
stuff.
don't take anything from the artists, and we built our site so that we can grow without a need for getting money from artists to create that.
All right. Now I'm going to get personal here because
Yeah.
it seems like this is for somebody like you. This is a massive believe me, just running a show like this is a massive undertaking for one person. It's really difficult to put
Yes.
out a network together. It time constraints, personal. You got to put it takes your whole life force away from you. And if it's nonprofit and you're really not in it for profit, the long-term feasibility of this, it's going to kill you eventually.
Well, thanks.
It is. No, I'm just being real.
Matt's a very encouraging person.
Yes, extremely. I can tell he's a devil's advocate kind of guy.
I do have to drive to LaGuardia Airport. Did I not mention that? That's in the back of my mind.
Well,
I have to.
I apologize. Didn't they remodel that?
They did.
Well, so my eventual goal for this project is to grow to a point where we have so much support coming in from sponsors and grants that our memberships are secondary. Now, when I looked at the possibilities of funding this, I looked at what PBS does, and I looked at what most for-profit membership networks do, which is they use the word subscribers, which is really no different. What we found was if we could get 100,000 members to provide us with $5 a month, then we could, or $50 a year, then we could fund this entire network for around $5 to $6 million a year. And 100,000 members seems like a large number, but when you look at PBS has a member-supported network of over 350 channels all across the country with a minimum support network of 12,000. So that means that out of 350 networks, there's a minimum of 12,000 supporting members, paying members. So if we could do 1/10 of that across the country, we figured that we could bring in 100,000 members, and our audience base is worldwide. So we have paying members in Europe, we have paying members in South America and the US. Our paying member base is very small right now because we're new, but if we had the support of more people showing that independent music and independent art is where they would prefer to get most of their content, then we could build a site that would rival Twitch and YouTube and provide a profile page that looked more like a professional EPK for artists who are trying to get their name out there. And then as we grow, we will be partnering with events and venues from all over the country so that those events and venues can use our network to book other artists. So we're hoping that it will be a reflective network where everyone involved will be helping each other.
Very cool. Now, it's something that I could definitely get behind. I don't know if this is something that will help or not, but if you want to just put out to all your content creators that if they want to come on here and just do an interview and promote their content on your network, we would definitely welcome all. I'd say most of them, as long as they don't write me like creepy poems.
That would be great. Yeah,
these guys like when people write me creepy poems. Actually, he was very good.
Yeah, the more people that write, if you write Matt Nabo a creepy poem, then I'll write you a thank you.
That's you guys read them on the air?
What? Well, yeah.
This one did get read on the air.
It did. Yeah.
Yeah.
He read it on the air.
He was a very good guest and a good guy, and we want him back. So I did not think that was going to be the case.
Despite the fact that he's Canadian now.
Yeah, which was another strike against him.
He's American living again.
Well, I write haikus.
Haiku. Yeah,
On
no,
bathroom walls, or I mean, have you done a bathroom that I would have seen it in?
No, I during the pandemic, I did a lot of hashtag pandemic haikus. Anytime I found a joke that sounded good, I always would say it in my head and see, oh, is this a haiku? Oh, wow, it's a haiku, and then I throw it out on Facebook or Instagram.
This is
And
how stupid I am. I recently had somebody who writes haiku on it, and they explained to me the format because I know limericks, I know that kind of, but I don't remember what's the format for haiku. What makes it haiku?
5 syllables, 7 syllables, 5 syllables.
Right. Who came up with that?
I think it was Chinese or Japanese.
Well,
I mean,
let's
the
bomb
word is
them.
haiku, so
Well, let's bomb them today. And we don't care where. Let's bomb them both just to be safe.
As a matter of fact, that was the original name of the first atomic bomb, was Haiku Boy.
haiku.
Yeah, so it's little known fact. Little known fact.
I'm not quick enough to come up with a bomb name that has 575, but that's what I would have done if I were a professional comedian. Anyway, no, it sounds like something we can really get behind and support 100%. And I'm just thinking like how we can support it and what's the best way that we can help you grow this thing and make sure it takes off and achieves what you want it to achieve.
Well, you guys are definitely doing that. If you guys know of any camp out festivals or multi-day events that are looking for a broadcast,
be at one. Yeah, we're supposed to be at one today, and I was beating you up for forgetting about your last scheduled performance on here, and I forgot that Altercation Comedy Festival in Austin, Texas. We could be broadcasting from there right now, but now they only do it once a year. So, but I think we can get them to be on your network next year.
That would be excellent. If any of you guys know, or any of your audience knows, producers or organizers of events that are just local events that don't have any type of video production, we would come out, provide a 4-camera shoot, do a live edit, and we can either live broadcast that on our network or record those sets and play them on our network later. Some of the smaller events.
Where are you located? You can't do that nationwide, right? I mean,
I can do it wherever they're willing to fly me out to. I'm based in Sacramento, and I just got back from Alaska, where I shot a festival called Sacred Acre, which was a 3-day event up in Ninilchik. I'm pretty sure I pronounced that right. And there's an event up there every year called Salmon Fest, and the producer of that is thinking of having me come back for Salmon Fest as well as Sacred Acre next year. And yeah, we're wide open, and we also have multiple camera crews from across the country. So if there's a more local camera crew to your event, we can send one of them instead of us.
Very cool.
So Salmon Fest, where you watch the bears eat the salmon as they jump up the falls?
No,
Salmon Feast. That's Salmon Feast.
Salmon Feast. No, Salmon Fest is a live music, mostly live music event with, I think, 3 stages up in the peninsula of southern Alaska. And
now, if it's a live music event, should this be original music, or because if it's other people's music, do you run into trouble with ASCAP? Is it ASCAP?
We actually have our own ASCAP and BMI broadcast music licenses, so people can do covers and put them on our network as well. We want them put into either a performance setting or a music video. Right. But we prefer original music, but we will accept anything that fits within our broadcast license.
Excellent, man. It sounds like an exciting opportunity. I hope people will take advantage of it, or at least find out about it and see how they can incorporate this into their own ideas and what they're doing. The sync license stuff always it freaks me out, because Live 365, which we are on right now, we have a full sync license. But like I looked at changing radio streaming providers, and some of them don't come with sync licenses, and they're more expensive than Live 365. And always, how does Live 365 be able to do that? I guess by buying the licenses in such bulk that BMI and ASCA. I don't know how any of that stuff works, but it's one of
I,
those things
I don't
where-
know how that works either. I just make sure that we're in full compliance so that we can broadcast what we want. And when we find ourselves running into something, we immediately respond to it.
Well, good for you, man. I applaud you just for having the initiative to want to do
Yeah.
this and the energy, because it would wear me out, man. Just it seems like
Oh,
Yeah, it's one heck of a task.
I looked a lot younger 3 years ago. You know, I'm only 27.
Aging you like the presidency.
Exactly. No, I actually have 7 years of broadcast television experience, along with about 15 years of live event production experience. And building this was a lot easier than I had anticipated because of all the technology that's available. I mean, we're running our entire broadcast system off of OBS, which most people who don't know OBS and are like, I've shown some of my television professional friends OBS who weren't familiar with it, and they're like, "Oh my God, this is like a $5,000 to $10,000 program," and I'm like, "Nope, it's free."
Yeah. I don't understand how and listen, I'm sorry to do this, but I don't understand how Wirecast is still in business. Wirecast is basically $10,000 worth of OBS. I mean, you're basically paying for the same stuff you get with OBS.
I'll tell you
But,
why. It's because it's more user friendly. What they did was they scaled down OBS for the people who didn't understand all of the settings and making it work for them. And I personally don't mind working on something to make sure that it works properly. And I watch a ton of OBS instructional videos. But this ended up being a fun thing to put together at the beginning. Now, 3 years in, it's definitely been a bit of a struggle, but I believe in what we've put together. I believe in the long-term potential of this project, and I believe that up-and-coming artists need a home that they can know about. I believe that children growing up wanting to know where to find the newest content that they can look up, and then deciding that they want to be artists, instead of having to go find that site to put their content on, it's already there for them. And if they grow up tuning into PBM TV for music videos and live festivals, then by the time they choose what to do with their artistic self, they may just decide to sign up and start producing content for us.
All right. Let me ask you this, because it's confusing to me. I've run nonprofits before, but they were more altruistic than, because it sounds like this would have a better chance if it was for profit, right? Because the angel investors might want to get involved. Why are you dedicated to keeping it nonprofit?
The main reason is because I don't want there to ever be any influence on what we can and should be broadcasting. I want it to always be for the artists. I want that. I know that, you know, from when I was growing up to now, PBS still pretty much resembles what it did back when we were growing up.
Pretty close, yeah.
It's changed a little bit. They do have some commercials, but for the most part, their network is almost exactly what it was. It's just a bit more updated. I want to make sure 50 years from now, when I'm no longer a part of this, when hopefully I'm just watching it from my, you know, beachfront condo in Florida, I can tune into PBM TV and know that it looks and feels like it did when I started it.
Yeah, and just for reference, 50 years from now, GD will be doing an open mic at the bar down the block.
And Florida's probably not going to be here in 50 years, just so you know.
Now, I run a nonprofit also. It's called My Comedy Career. It wasn't.
I thought it was called your
It wasn't supposed to be a nonprofit. It's an LLC, and I thought I'd be making money, but it's a nonprofit, not by choice.
So if it's a for-profit, you need to get those commercials in there, get that advertising.
Well, I was trying to do it so that if I could let's say, do my Mind Coffee cup thing and do Mind Mind Dog
Mind
Coffee.
Pump Coffee.
And,
You got to learn
Mind
to read it
Coffee.
right first. Of all.
Yeah. Yeah. See,
just
all
saying,
that helps, Genie.
I was just
Yeah,
going to
first of all,
I was going to
you
do
got-
my set and hold
I
up the
say
product
Mind Dog
and make
Coffee.
it, yeah.
Mind Dog Coffee. I don't always drink coffee.
Yeah.
But also, you've got to be able to read the label on the thing. You hold it up in the light. If the light washes it all out, you can't even see. We can't
Well,
tell what that says.
That's because I had to make this. Okay?
I know you had to make it, but still, you got to get your lighting right. And now we have a broadcast professional here who can tell you how to get the lighting right on that.
Look, I am so focused on making sure that the lighting on me is right, because if I backlight me,
You
you're
look
just gonna
great.
see- Thank you.
Great.
But that's just natural sunlight.
You look a little dark though. Like,
Yeah, I think the tint is a little off.
yeah.
I have been told I do not represent the true Black experience by people who watch my set. So
Oh, do I have to say goodbye to Govs and nobody told me?
Oh shit! Yeah. 4 minutes ago. 4 minutes ago.
All right.
Hey, that's still not bad.
Right.
yeah, bye,
You know what?
Govs.
To be honest with you, Tony is working on a movie right now, and I know for a fact he was on set at 2 a.m. this morning in Brooklyn. So he might not even be doing a show today, or if he is, he's probably not even aware that it's supposed to start in 15 minutes. So, but Knock 'em Dead comedy starts 11 minutes from now. We'll see you tomorrow, Govs. Govs has a good weekend lined up there. Go. Our guest yesterday, Joe Pontillo, is at the Giggle Room tonight. So go see him there, or go to Sticks and Stones and see Vanessa Hollingshead